Right, YouTube, Shadow King Nazru, and I just got back from watching James Gunn's Suicide Squad. Now, this is kind of a quasi sequel, and to some extent, kind of a do-over. I mean, because there is still some continuation from the original Suicide Squad movie done by David Ayers. Still hoping for that David Ayers cut. But its tone is much lighter. It's having much more fun with it. And all I gotta say is I had a great time with this movie. We still got returning actors like Viola Davis as the take no nonsense, I will kill you if you do not do what I tell you. Amanda Waller, uh, Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn. Uh, she's she was great in this, and I think people will really get Harley Quinn and will really relate to her here. And Margot Robbie, all is forgiven for that awful Birds of Prey movie. I mean, that was practical. Let's be real. That was a vanity project. It wasn't a real Birds of Prey movie. I don't care what Gail Simone says. She's basically an SJW show. But I forgive you for Birds of Prey. And John McCourtney or whatever his name was, the guy who played Captain Boomerang. He was there. But spoilers. He's not going to be there for very long, if you catch my meaning. But yeah, this is going to be some spoilers. The rest of the team, um, I mean, there were some others like Mongola, who I think is like maybe a daughter or some relative of Mongol, the Superman villain. We had a Weasel character. Uh, we had I forget what some of the other members of the A team were, but like what this movie, another one of these positives of this movie as opposed to the David Ayers movie is that they really take advantage of the whole emphasis on the suicide part because uh, while I did like the original Suicide Squad movie, yeah, I know I'm in the minority, but I don't care. Um, what they take advantage of is they really take advantage of the suicide name. They they in the original they you could they did kill off a few members of uh but it was I think only like one or two people died. Everyone else was still alive, so you kind of I guess to some extent people felt that kind of made felt like the characters actually had plot armor. I wouldn't go that far, but I can understand where they're coming from. Here, they killed off like a good majority of their characters. So there's only like one or two people are gonna make it past this movie. Obviously Harley Quinn because well it's Harley Quinn. I mean she's way too popular. This is the Joker's on again off again girlfriend. Real popular characters for about 30 years. Yeah, there was no way they were going to kill her off in this movie. And then there are others, but I don't want to spoil it all. Another thing that this movie does well is that it makes you feel for like the new characters because they got some characters that are usually like in the C to D list of DC villains, like Ratcatcher 2, the Polka Dot Man, the frickin' Polka Dot Man, arguably the worst Batman villain of all time, and they James Gunn, the way he wrote these characters, the way he developed them, he really makes you feel like he cares for them. Like when you understand what drives these characters, what kind of mental problems they have, but they still have some kind of moral compass. I'm gonna get too much into this because I do want to save some of this stuff for you in the movie, which you gotta watch in theaters or on HBO Max if you feel like it's worth a subscription. But yeah, James Gunn really does make you feel for these characters. At least the ones that you tend to actually focus on. And he was really good. Um, there's also kind of a bit of political commentary, especially with how the government likes to keep secrets and is morally gray, and you gotta just say that they could be just as monstrous as the actual main villain, which is Starro, as we saw in all the trailers. So that's not really a spoiler. Yeah, they got Starro, the mind controlling alien starfish. Um, but yeah, they basically treat they don't pull punches with exposing how the American government does some really messed up things. I know some people who don't really like America that might get a kick out of that. They'll make total memes off of this. Um, but all in all, I will say this was a pretty good movie. It had a lot of fun. Uh, did not pull its punches with its humor, with its intense violence, and this really will is a good step in the direction for the DC EU. Um, I really hope that we get more movies like this, and maybe before it's too late, Warner Brothers will backpedal on things that don't work. Like we don't need any more more of the awful Birds of Prey movie. I mean, not a sequel to that. If you want to reboot it, and do an actual proper Birds of Prey movie, I'd be down for that. Also, that movie of the Black Superman with a Black Clark Kent, done by Jar Jar Abrams and Ta-Nehisi Coates. No, I don't want that. Get rid of it. Fire those people. But more movies like this, Justice League, the Snyder Cut, more of the Snyderverse, we can help flesh that out. Uh, I heard Flash is also going to get a movie, and it's going to have Michael Keaton and Batfleck and some other things, and then that might be interesting. But bottom line, definitely recommend Suicide Squad. I give it. You know what? I'm gonna be generous and give it a 9. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I feel like this is like the experience that people have with the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, even though I'm personally indifferent towards the Guardians of the Galaxy. It's nothing to do with James Gunn's directing and writing, because I know he can make good movies. I've seen some of his movies before, and they can be pretty entertaining. It's just that I don't care for the Guardians of the Galaxy personally. But this, I feel he did a pretty good job. And if they ever make like a Suicide Squad 3, that would be cool. I wouldn't mind more of like James Gunn doing that, or if they got like another director. But yeah, more of that, please. Uh, but all in all, great movie. Highly recommend. Definitely say you can see it in theaters or in on HBO Max. And now, if you excuse me, I'm gonna go watch some Welcome to Demon School, Irma-kun season 2. Love that series. You should watch it. But later on, sometime probably tomorrow, I'll be covering my next review of the Tales of the Jedi, which is covering the whole Exar Kun thing, Dark Lords of the Sith. Yeah, that's gonna be coming out tomorrow. And I hope you all enjoy this. I'll catch you mortals later.